What's up, my guys? And welcome back to the Wrestling Report Card. I'm your host, Cody, and I tell you what, we got a huge weekend in wrestling store for us. Tomorrow, we got AEW All Out, but that's not what we're talking about today, because we got WWE Clash at the Castle that just ended. So for those of y'all that don't know how this show works out, is I take a pay-per-view, I break down each match, give it its own letter grade, and at the end of that show, I tally them son bitches up and assign that pay-per-view its own report card. So we got Clash at the Castle. That means you got Roman Reigns taking on Drew McIntyre in front of 62,000 of his fellow countrymen for the World Undisputed title. Not only that, but you had Seth Rollins versus Riddle in a banger match, plus one of the most hardest hitting matches I ever seen as Sheamus took on Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and you had a family member turn on another family member. I mean, it doesn't get better than that. So without further ado, buckle up your seatbelts and let's get to grading. In our opening match of the night, you got the WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. She's teaming up with Asuka and Alexa Bliss to take on Bayley, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky. So in typical Triple H fashion, say that 5 times fast because I just tried to. We start this women's match out with an all-out brawl, and I tell you what, this UK crowd was going from the start. So Bayley and her two goons start the match off doing a great job keeping Belair out of the ring. But that only lasted so long as Asuka finally made her way to the corner, tagged in the champ, who just came in and crushed anything that was moving. As Bianca went to hit the KOD, however, Bayley made the save and then held Belair in the corner by her hair. After getting laid out by all three ladies, Bianca then got rolled up by Bayley, who got the 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna slap a B on that. With Bayley getting the pin over Bianca, it looks like we're heading straight into a feud between those two ladies. I don't think anybody's gonna be mad about that, my guy. But we gotta move on, because next up, we have quite possibly the hardest hitting match in WWE this year so far, as you got Sheamus taking on the Intercontinental Champion Gunther. And good news for Gunther is that his crew Imperium made their grand return as they came down to the ring with him, and they just started slugging it out with Butch and Ridge while Sheamus and Gunther just stared each other down. And as these are two of the most physical guys in all of pro wrestling, it was no surprise that this was a slobber knocker. No cap, these two were both already bruised not even 3 minutes into the match. At one point, Gunther chopped Sheamus so hard that Claudio felt that sumbitch over in AEW. After these two just beat the hell out of each other for what seemed like hours, Sheamus reaches into his arsenal and hits the Irish cross, but Gunther kicked out. Sheamus did the smart thing and immediately went for the bro kick. However, Gunther countered with the powerbomb. Knowing that that wasn't enough to keep his ass down, Gunther loaded up, hit him with a lariat, and then got the 1, 2, 3 over Sheamus. Yeah, that's getting an A+. Like, I don't know what else y'all want me to say. Like, that, again, was the hardest hitting match that I may have ever saw. And the other ones that are included in that conversation, most of them involve Gunther or Sheamus. What a match. But we got to keep it moving because it don't stop. Next up, you got Liv Morgan defending her Women's SmackDown title against Shayna Bazler. Don't forget, Liv came into this match with a hurt arm, courtesy of Miss Baszler, of course. So Shayna and her MMA background focused early and often on that arm. Outside of an armbar by Liv, Shayna was dominating most of this match. Then, out of nowhere, boom, Morgan hits her crazy sunset flip powerbomb. However, Baszler kicked out, but no worries, because Liv answered with the code breaker, followed by her Oblivion finisher to get the 1, 2, 3 and retain her title. For this one, I'm going to give it a C+. Like, that was a solid match, but if I'm being honest, this championship run Liv Morgan has had has been very stale. Moving on, something that ain't so stale, something that's a little fresh, you got the Judgment Day taking on Rey Mysterio and Edge. And boy, do we have a ton of speculation coming into this match, as Rey Mysterio chose Edge over his own son to be his tag team partner. With both Dom and Rhea Ripley ringside, all eyes are on Dom Mysterio in this match. The disrespect from the Judgment Day was there on full force as Finn Balor teased hitting Rey Mysterio with the Three Amigos suplexes made famous by Eddie Guerrero, and at one point, Damian Priest leaned over and spit on Edge, which wasn't his smartest move, because when Edge tagged in, he was just going nuts. He even hit the 619 on Finn Balor, but Priest was Johnny on the spot to break it up. This allowed Finn to get back in it, and just as he was on his way to hit the coup de grace, Dom does the right right thing and causes a distraction, allowing his pops to knock Finn off the ropes. Rhea then decides that she was going to woman handle Dom Mysterio yet again, but Rey flew out helping his son take her out. Rey gets back in the ring, hits the 619, which allowed Edge to spear Finn Balor, and they get the 1, 2, 3. Just when Edge and Rey were celebrating, Dom came over, but he decided to not only lay out Edge, but he turned on his own dad as well. That son of a bitch! That son of a bitch! Man, that's gonna get a B+. We'll have to see where this Dom Mysterio heel turn goes, but how you gonna do your own dad like that? Especially when your dad's Rey Mysterio. Speaking of personal though, next up we got the most heated rivalry of the year in my opinion, as you got Seth Rollins taking on Riddle. They made this one personal. At one point in this rivalry, Seth Rollins said to Riddle, "That's why your wife and kids left your bitch ass." And that actually happened in real life. So yeah, I can't lie, I was hyped for this one. And to no one's surprise, these two came out of the gate swinging, and they showed no signs of slowing down. I mean, just listen to this moveset. Seth hits a superplex, goes for the Falcon Arrow. Boom! Riddle counters with the Fisherman Suplex. Riddle follows that up with the floating bro onto the floor. Then he hits a jumping triangle, but Rollins escapes, hits Riddle with his own bro Derek finisher. However, Riddle kicked out. Riddle lifts Rollins up for a powerbomb, but Seth beautifully transitioned that into a pedigree, but it still wasn't enough. Seth then started the mind games as he hit Riddle with his mentor, you may know him, that's Randy Orton, with his draping DDT. Rollins then went for the RKO, but that just infuriated Riddle, who let his motions get the best of him as he tried to attack Seth Rollins with a chair. After he missed, Seth Rollins counters, hits back-to-back curb stomps, and gets the 1, 2, 3 over the bro. And I know we didn't get no Randy, but I'm still gonna give that an A-. Like, them boys really win at it. But that's enough talk, because it's time for the main event. You got Roman Reigns defending his undisputed title against Drew McIntyre in his home country in front of 62,000 that have his back. McIntyre came out dominating the early going of this match. However, Roman did a great job slowing the pace down and not letting Drew get any momentum with his fellow countrymen. Drew then got distracted by Karrion Kross, who was sitting ringside, and threw a water bottle at Drew. This distraction allowed Roman to blindside Drew, which gave him the upper hand. Well, that was until Drew gave him a Glasgow kiss for the ages. I tell you what, that headbutt could have cracked a football helmet. Just as Drew started to get his momentum back, Roman countered with the rock bottom to get his first 2 count of the night. It took that long. Roman gets up for the Superman punch. Drew counters with the aftershock. Drew then goes for the Claymore, but Roman counters and connects with the Superman punch. Then boom, Roman hits the spear, but Drew kicks out. McIntyre then spears Roman through the barricade, quickly rolled Roman back into the ring to set up the Claymore, but Roman struck first with a spear. However, once again, McIntyre kicked out. While Roman was busy arguing with the ref, Drew hit the Claymore to the back of Roman's head, but it knocked out the ref as well. Then boom, here comes Theory to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase, but all he cashed in was an ass whooping courtesy of Tyson Fury, who knocked his little ass out. During all this commotion, Drew landed a second Claymore, but somehow Reigns stays alive. Drew spears Roman, Claymores him again, but as the ref goes 1, as he goes 2, somebody pulls the ref out of the ring. We got to see who it is. It's the youngest Uso, Solo Sikoa, coming in to help Roman Reigns out. As this happens, Roman gets up, hits the spear, and gets the 1, 2, 3, and retains his title. After a beautiful rendition of American Pie, courtesy of Tyson Fury, Drew McIntyre gets the proper farewell in front of his countrymen. And I'm going to give that main event, I'm going to give it a B+. I thought it was a good match, and I'm not going to lie, I would have been pissed off had Drew McIntyre would have won. No knock on Drew, but if anybody's going to end Roman Reigns, I'd rather it be, see what I did there? I'd rather it be Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes, anybody but Drew. Again, I just think a Drew McIntyre title run would get boring after a month or 2. Well, I'll stop all my ranting and raving. That brings us to the end of another show. We got all the grades in. Now let's take a look at the report card. After tallying everything up, we came out with a final letter grade of a B+. That's right, an 89%. You can't knock this pay-per-view. You had 3 banger matches as well as a huge heel turn when Dominic turned on his dad, Rey Mysterio. Like, who does that, man. We gonna have to see how AEW answers tomorrow. With all that being said, though, I'm gonna get out of here and get some sleep because I gotta do another one of these tomorrow. So, as y'all know, I hope all y'all stay safe. Hit me with a subscribe and have a nice day.